Hey, good morning, everybody. It is January 8th, 2026, coming back at you. Thanks, God, for another day. Thank you that we woke up this morning. I'm here because of God and to grow His kingdom. Thank you for the breath in our lungs, Father God. Thank you that we can come together, learn something new, and use our minds for good. Hello, everybody. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Today, I will be reviewing my trades of the day. It was a successful morning. Very dramatic and hectic morning, I will say that. I'll explain later, but we're in the green $80, so I'm happy about that. I'll take my greens and walk away. So let's get to it. First trade of the day. Actually, no, that was straight. First trade of the day, $203. This is great. This is very good. So I've been starting to trade that 1 minute, and I'm getting better at it. And I really do think, with time and practice, the 1 minute will be beneficial. So let's look at what we did here. So this stock was trending up, had a few pullbacks, actually a lot of pullbacks between 7 a.m. I mean, here I see 1, 2, 3, 4 entries on momentum in between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. So that's one thing is, be at the computer at 6:30 a.m. I was at the computer at 8 a.m. So for trading between 7 a.m. Central and 8 a.m., there's a lot of opportunity pre-market, especially, you never know when you'll get a stock with you. So I got in here. On my first move, we had a huge pullback here. What does that look like on the 5 minute? Let's see. On the 5 minute, that's a deep pullback. And actually, this is good. Deep pullbacks present opportunity because it's holding this line. And what that does is it gives us a lot of, it improves our risk to reward ratio. I remember VWAP was floating right below here. Let's see. I don't know why VWAP is not showing up. All right, but VWAP was going right here, and I took it because it had these two touches off of VWAP. It tried to break VWAP twice. So what works here is I'm noticing that two touches off of VWAP plus a level of support from earlier. Two touches off of VWAP with momentum going up. That's a good entry. Touched, boom, touched. It touched twice. In my case, once, second time, had a tight stop here, and then got in with momentum. What I'm learning is that in I was using stop buy orders before, but I changed that to active entries. So an active entry is setting the exact point that you want to get in on. All right, I know that if it breaks here, I want to get in. All right, which is what I did. So this is a good setup. Like, this is textbook. One, we had Momentum move up. Boom, 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 boom. Ah. So one, a momentum move up. How do we know it's a momentum move up? Well, we've got high volumes and we've got large green trend bars. Second, deep pullback on decreasing volume. That's great. This. So we've got the momentum move up, deep pullback on decreasing value volume. And what's good about deep pullbacks to either VWAP or the EMA is that it actually increases our risk reward ratio quite nice because it allows us to have a tight stop. As the name of the game is having tight stop at the VWAP and big upside. So as you can see, so we had VWAP right here. Our upside here, it can go all the way up here, which it did. It actually broke through that. Um, what's the distance of this? Let's calculate that. This distance right here is what, from about 7 to, where's our entry? 6.2 to 7. Okay, this right here is 80 cents. Okay. And then we have another distance from our entry to our stop. Put it right there at the low of that candle. So 5.6 to 6, about 40 cents, 50 cents. So we got actually just a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. If I zoom in more on the 1 minute, you can see like much better. Tight stop, entry right here, 6.1 to 5.6. Yeah, so about a 40 cent entry to make. I mean, our goal is to go to the top of the range, right? Um, so we've got yeah, and a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio exactly. That's great. Let's work with that. So to continue on this, momentum move up, pull back on decreasing volume. Great. We have our signal candle. Honestly, this would have been a valid entry right here, honestly, on the 5 minute. This is a good entry right here. Boom, 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 boom. Like right here is a great entry. Like whoever got in right here, they were doing good. Decreasing volume, boom, then breakout. Where did you put your stop in that case so you don't get stopped out? Under the low of that last one. You would have been good on the 5 minute. That's a 5 minute opportunity. And then it shot all the way up, came back all the way down, and then shot up through again. So in the 1 minute, I got in here, I took profits throughout here. I got out as soon as I saw candle under candle. I don't play. That's a system that every time on the 1 minute, if I see candle under candle, that means we're making new lows, and I'd rather just get out. So that works well. Getting out at the first side of candle under candle. then we can come back in later and make a new entry right here if we want. But that's another trade. So all in all, so momentum move up, deep pullback. We got a signal candle. And what makes a signal candle so good is that lower wick confirming the support, which in this case this was my signal. Actually, I used these two as my signal candle, so maybe it could have been better here. How's my exit? So got in, great timing. How's my exit? Took profits all the way up. I'm happy. Made $203 right here. So this is A plus setup. Got in at the pullback. Proper pullback. FLYX. Yes. Same stock right after. Made $150. So I got in on momentum here. This is the 5-minute. This is what it looks like on the 1-minute. Notice I was a little late to the party here. So we had, our pullback, initial move up. This is where I got in last time and went back down. It tested it again. Didn't work. So shot back up. I could have had an entry right here, but it doesn't want to get over that point. And then another entry right here. So I was a little late to this one. And that's just due to hesitation. Like with momentum trading, eyes gotta be glued to the level 2 and the tape. See that once it hits a point that there's follow through. We need to see follow through on the tape and the level 2 bid level specifically holding our entry. So what we need to have locked in our mind the exact price, like our entry point. Because when we're looking at the bid at the level 2 and the tape, we want to see that we have green going over that level. That could be a better way to get into these trades with confidence. Tight stop. There was hesitation because of this big red candle. I see high volume red candle like that. Nah, but we waned out. Tight stop again. VWAP was right under here. So I feel pretty good about getting in right here. Shot up. Oh, it gapped up. Got out right there. Got out right here. In retrospect, I was in this moment. I was waiting for the thing to pop back through. It gapped up, right? I don't know. So it came down, popped back. I was waiting for it to pop back up, and then it instantly went down. So I could have protected some more capital by ideally getting out right there. Like as soon as I see candle under candle, I gotta get out. That's what I tried. I think I just got filled right there. So I would give this a B setup. This is a B pullback. I'll give this like a B, yeah. Pullback. What was good is that we had a tight stop, and I remember getting in with momentum. It's just I got in a little late. Next time pull the trigger when I see a lot of green on the tape. Great. Oh, I lost $132 here. Why is that? So on the 5 minute, we had a huge red candle. I was trying to buy it to pull back. I thought it was gonna reverse because it was holding this right here. Who's like holding. What was this, NVVE? Yeah, classic. So we had a huge surge and then a much higher red volume, which I didn't take into consideration. What I was looking at was the 1 minute. I see why I got in. So to prevent this, I should have seen this as a huge caution sign. 5 minute trend bear candle, and I'm getting in right after that. Nah, I don't have a good signal candle on the 5 minute. Got in. What I was actually basing my entry on instead was these long lower wicks. So I had a level of support that I was going for, and then I had my entry. I said if it breaks through right here, I'm gonna get in. Ah, risky, bro. Risky. I would say so. This was a D level trade. Like this was a failed trade. This was trading off of, honestly, what was I doing here? Pullback. I see what I was doing. There was a pullback. It was a pullback. I'll give it that. It was a pullback without consideration of 5 minute um chart. So what fails here? So my weakness is actually like giving weight to the 5 minute chart, obviously the volume, wicks, etc., as I simultaneously focus on the 1 minute. So I'm looking at the 1 minute and I see a setup there that looks good, but I have something screaming at me on the 5 minute and I still take the trade. So changing behavior here is put extreme weight on the 5 minute signals, and then 1 minute is confirming the idea. Here I'm starting with 1 minute, not giving regard to 5 minute. In contrast, I need to go from the 5 minute, say, okay, set up on the 5 minute, look good. 1 minute to confirm it. The 5 minute always has to be the source of information because 1 minute has way too many signals. 1 minute is really where I hone in on momentum. 1 minute is more to hone in on momentum. So 5 minute, you make the plan, make the strategy, weigh risk reward, big picture, right? 1 minute, we're looking for momentum, confirming support levels on a micro level, um, and we're managing the trade as well. 5 minute big picture, 1 minute momentum, confirming the support level, managing the trade. I need to put extreme weight on the 5 minute signal. This was a huge red flag, but I still entered. That's how you lose $132. 42 cents. I got in, got out too quick. Huh. Interesting. So I actually had a good idea here. So we had to pull back. Well, let's look at the 5 minute. What's the 5 minute showing me? 5 minutes showing me that we had decreasing volume. We had a green. We had a doji. So we have a level of support right here. Long tail. So this is where I put my stop. What's our potential reward? We have room to go all the way here. This distance from our entry to here is, what is that? It's from 8.9 to, probably get in at the top of the wick, 8.9 to 6.8. That's a 90 cent, 90 cents. 90 cents. Realistically, it went up to the top of this range right here. Obviously, it couldn't get past that. I mean, it did. I don't know. That's a weird one. So 90 cents right here. What's our distance from our stop to our entry? What is that? 6.1 to 6.8. 70 cents? Is this? This doesn't seem right. This is 70 cents. 6.9. Oh, it's 6.9 to 8.9. That's $2. So what are we risking? 70 cents to get $2? That's a 2.85 risk reward. That's great. That's a great risk reward. So I'm really gotta hone in on risk reward. It's so much more important than I thought. Like, seeing that on the 5 minute, mapping out the risk reward on the 5 minute before entry is really, really important. Really important. It's actually so much more important than I thought. Um, so what happened here? So risk reward was good. Mapped it out. I had a setup on the 5 minute. I had a good signal bar, good series of signal bars on the 1 minute. Said if it passes that, I'll get in. We got a tight stop. Okay. So what went wrong here? I took the trade and I got out immediately, even though I had a resolution in 3 minutes. It went up. So my timing was off. So I'll give this is a B level trade. This is a B minus. So the timing was off a little bit. So that means I got in, but it needed to pass these up, really. Really it needed to pass those up. So I got in here thinking that it just needed to pass that up, but really it needed to pass this up. So timing was off because I didn't wait until it passed the upper wicks to the left. I think if I had looked to the left, seen, okay, there's a few upper wicks. Obviously, there's a level of pressure here that we're trying to break out of. Just could have moved my entry up just a bit. To accommodate for these and then get in. Also, I got out before I got out before it hit my stop. I had a plan. I didn't allow it to hit my stop. Why? Fear. So when I take a trade, I need to be okay with losing that money. All right. So yeah, big thing here is when I take a trade, I need to be okay with losing the money, and just look to the left a little bit to see if we have impending doom. Made 47 bucks here. So what's our setup? Setup, okay, decreasing volume, great. Signal candle, great. Got in right at the signal candle. Okay, so this is an A plus setup. I just talked about this. This is what I would have done, and I did that. So it's an A plus setup. I came in with momentum. I managed to trade on the up, took out. As soon as we get a candle and a candle, I'm out. Take it up, take it up. I managed this great. I'll give this an A plus. I'll give this an A plus. I got in with a good signal. I got in with a good big picture setup on the 5. Got supporting signal candles on the 1. Went in with momentum. Got a trend bar, and then got out quick. Then got my money off the table. That's a $47 trade. Lost 90 bucks. That was funny. I would have actually. This is where today got really, really, really annoying. Instead of taking profits off of the table here, which, yeah, very annoying. Very annoying. I was buying instead of, so I bought here, took off, and I bought here. So I bought here originally, and then I decided to get in here. This second purchase was a fluke on my end. I just pressed the wrong button. But overall, got in with momentum here, got out here, got out here. That would have been a profitable trade. This was honestly just an error that I fixed. We'll never make that again. Hey, failure leads one step closer to success. So I learned to have my setup in a way where I don't confuse buttons. Minus 77. I have any super big losses? I wanna look at that really big loss today. Minus 77. Oh, again, yeah, this was. Oh, this was right after when I was revenge trading. Yeah. Because I just lost money and I wanted to make it back. Quickly stop myself from doing that. So my biggest loss, 132, happened because I got in right after, like literally got in right after a bear trend candle. Never get in right after a bear trend candle. That's why I lost so much money. Um, yeah, guys. So all in all, I'm in the green. I kept to my system for the most part. Changing behavior for tomorrow. I'm being at the computer at 6:30 a.m. to capitalize on early trades. Putting more weight on the 5 minute signals that I see. Using my lowest entry amount more rather than my larger amounts. I noticed that, with my lowest entry, I can make $200 on a good trade. I think I don't know. We'll think about that. But I'm never getting in right after a bear trend candle. That's why I need to change. So what works? Touches off of momentum, touches off of VWAP. That's good. Buy off of touch off of VWAP. Having an active entry. That means really paying close attention to pay very close attention, guys, to the level two and the tape as we enter. We needed to hold a level. Deep pullbacks are good. That touch the VWAP and EMA with a level of support, it increases our risk to reward ratio. When we're in managing the trade, get out first side of candle under candle. And risk reward is so much more important than I thought. My strengths, I'm really good at calculating the risk to reward quick. I'm good at identifying support and resistance levels. And I'm good at um I think my entries have been pretty close to where I want to get in. My weaknesses, giving weight to the 5 minute chart as I simultaneously focus on the 1 minute chart. Um, Not jumping the gun on my entry. I need to be more patient on getting the right signals from level two and the tape. Um, Another weakness, I mean, I get impatient in taking impulsive trades. Getting better at that. Trading stocks while they're in a range and not truly gapping up with momentum. That was a huge lesson I learned yesterday. We need momentum for the strategy to work, and I need to see a lot of movement. Trading when MACD is negative, fixing that on the 5 minute. I haven't been trading breakouts anymore. That's been good. I noticed immediate resolution on that. Um, Getting in on the third or fourth pullback on 5 minute, yeah, not doing that. Trading against the trend, not doing that. It's got to be above 921. Not respecting my stop loss. I actually respected my stop loss today. Very good. I respected my stop loss very well today. So all in all, good day. Hope y'all learned something today that you can incorporate, learn from my failures and my winnings to help y'all make y'all better momentum traders. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Bye.